What's up, everybody? This is Talkin All That Kazz, and I am DJ Kazzeo. I want to thank you for checking out this particular episode of Talkin All That Kazz. On this particular episode, I got another great interview that I conducted here on my radio show at 90.9 FM KHTC in Salinas, California. But before we get going with that, I want you to go to this address, djkazzeo.com, and connect with me on social media. Whether it's on my Facebook, on my Instagram, on my Twitter, or even if you go and subscribe to my Mixcloud channel, you can hear all my radio shows that I do in their entirety, music, commentary, and interviews. But this right here, Talkin All That Kazz, this is for just the interviews, okay? I want to thank everybody who checked out the first round of interviews that I put up. Now we're on to the second round. This particular round, I'm going to focus on 2019, but I'm going to sprinkle it in with some more current stuff too. So you never know what you're going to get. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy another edition of Talkin All That Kazz with me, DJ Kazzeo. That's right. We're back in the place right here. It's 90.9 FM KHTC Radio Bilingue. Of course, here in Monterey, Salinas, and King City. 104.1 FM if you're out there in Hollister, San Juan Bautista, and South Gilroy. Streaming live worldwide at WednesdayRec.com. Yours truly, Kazzeo, right here, joined by my very special guest. You know, I have a dilemma.
What is that?
The dilemma is, do I announce you as Miss Sharyn Maceren, or do I announce you as Mrs. Sharon Ruckus?
Ooh. Let's see. I guess you could go either which way.
What if I called you Mrs. Sharon Maruckus?
Maruckus. I think that would be a good one.
Maruckus is the new name.
New name to the to the list. I think I'm gonna put that in there.
Are you driving in a car right now?
No. Can you hear me?
Okay, because you're going in and out on me.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Maybe I caught you. I know we're like in the midst of a medical emergency on your part, so maybe I caught you like mid-fall. But it's interesting. I was going through the archives, and today is a very special day. You know why?
Why?
6 years ago to the date, you were on the show doing an interview.
Ooh.
Do you remember what the purpose was?
The purpose was for 6 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Maybe In the Sunlight release?
No.
My birthday party. It was my birthday party in King City.
That's right. The next day, March 1st, 2013, Sharon blew the roof off the place at the King City Bar and Grill for her birthday party, which technically your birthday month was over, but, you extended it by a day.
Oh, yeah. Last year I extended it like 2 weekends in. You remember the mermaid theme party that I had?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this year I have one more party, like maybe the second weekend again. So I go through into March. I use all Pisces season.
Right. And by the way, happy belated birthday.
Thank you.
So are we any closer to the age of retirement?
Yeah, with how many releases we are doing this year, I'm thinking maybe, they're doing a lot, so I can imagine retiring, I'm sure.
Talk a little bit about that, because you really put a big workload on your shoulders. Basically every song on the album is going to be released as a single. Initially, you were trying to go for a video for every song, but that kind of proved a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's remixes for every song that you're putting out. So, I mean, between making all the remixes and doing the promotion and everything, I mean, how are you managing to, establish a married life?
Well, a lot of the remixes I do, they are with my husband. So that's an easy part in a way, because we like working on music and we like working on music together. So, it's kind of like, imagine how we're having this interview right now, So it's like, and if you guys like say we like having interviews together, then it's just like another day in the life, and that's kind of what it's like for us doing music.
Has there been any like creative arguments yet?
No, not yet. I think the reason why we don't have any like difficulties working together, it's I think even when we met and when we started, it's kind of like the song that we're releasing right now. It's called Love Flows. I mean, like that's kind of how it's like when we're in the studio. It's like he'll start something, I'm like, yeah, that's good, and we keep working together, and then it's like, okay, we're done. So it's such an easy flow for us in music and in outside of music.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's only less than a year in. I mean, there's gonna be there's gonna be some heated exchanges, I'm sure, at some point.
That's funny. I can't imagine that. I mean, I'm sure it happens to some people, but yeah, I couldn't imagine things being different than they are now. We'll see. I guess you'd hear it in the music,
Well, I'm just saying, you always hope for the best, but you have to prepare for the worst.
Prepare for the worst.
I mean, and somebody.
It will, like I said, it would always be good for the music. So anything. Any emotion's good for the music.
Well,
so.
I mean, that I've been waiting for over a decade for the angry Sharon to come out. So, Lenny, if you want to add some dimension to her creativity, do something, to maybe don't take the garbage out, or I don't know, leave the toilet seat up or something. Really upset her.
The funny thing is, Lenny too, he is. I noticed that about when I listen to his tracks too. Like if there's like a sad song or this, there's always this element of like positivity and happiness, and so I think he's very similar to me in that sense as well. I noticed that about him when I was listening to some remixes like a month ago.
Mm-hmm.
That how like with you, there's this element of kind of sweetness or happiness or whatever it was that you were telling me. I've seen that same thing. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, I'm just sitting here waiting, being that this is the fourth album, so far. I mean, it's been out maybe about 9 months now.
Let's see. It came out in July, so August, September, October, November, December, January, February. It's 8 months. Okay,
8 months. What has anything happened that you didn't expect? That as far as this release goes, or has everything kind of been the way you envisioned it?
I just remembered recently that when the album came out, like the day that it came out, at that time I didn't really look at charts before. I mean I've been on charts, but I didn't really pay attention. So like on the very first day that the one came out, the album, I just was like, okay, the album's out, and I was just like promoting it like that. And then someone asked me to check the charts, and then they noticed I was on the chart, and so that was the most surprising thing to me, because I didn't even look at charts. So now that happened, I've always, with every single release, just have been excited to see if we're charting, and I guess that's the most exciting thing for me, is just knowing that that the fans are listening, the fans are supporting, the fans are enjoying the music, they're buying it, and that's totally like the most surprising thing for me with this album.
Right. Well, that and I mean, you said the most exciting thing for you, and of course that as good as that is, it's second place to coming on this show. So
yeah.
Hey, so I want to go back and play. I got two classic Sharon songs ready to go. I want you to pick which one that I play, and then we'll take a quick break and we'll come back and talk a little bit more. But it's your call. Don't Ever Leave or Love's High.
Ooh, I think we'll go with Don't Ever Leave.
Ah, see, there you go. That would have been my pick, but I wanted to give you the option.
Thank you.
But let's go into a classic here from Sharyn Maceren. This is "Don't Ever Leave." And don't ever hang up, because we're not done yet. All right, so we'll be back in a second. This is 90.9 FM KHDC. And indeed, we are back in the place right here. It's 90.9 FM KHDC Radio Bilingue, 104.1 FM out there in Hollister, San Juan Bautista, and South Gilroy, and 90.9 FM here in Salinas and Monterey. Joined exclusively, she puts out a new record. She knows where to come to first and promote it.
Thank you.
Mrs. Maruckus.
Maruckus.
Miss Sharyn Maceren joining us on the phone tonight. So, Sharon, the new single is out now. It's available everywhere on iTunes, Amazon, and wherever else you can get digital media, right?
Right.
So, I mean, how many singles are we looking at as far as still to come?
After this one, we'll have 3 more.
Okay.
And then I'll have to figure out what to do with my life after this album.
I mean, all kidding aside, I mean, really, have you at all thought about what's next, or are you kind of just maybe I just need to take a break after this, or is the clock kind of ticking for you, or what's the deal?
Honestly, I always have dreams to do something next, another album or another project, but I just haven't even had time or the energy to do anything else, because we are making 2 to 3 to now with this one 4 remixes per single every month, So I'm sure once the 11th single drops and we're done doing everything for this album, then I can totally, answer this question.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what about, because I know Lenny puts out a lot of music. Are you featuring on any of his stuff?
No, I'm not featured on anything yet, but he was, talking to me the other day and just saying, he would, love to have me on something. So I totally would, if the right song came for both of us, I'd love to be featured on something for sure. Are
you well, you have to talk to my manager and get the contracts right, Is it that type of thing?
Yeah.
Your people have to talk to his people, and, so on and so on.
Totally.
One thing through all the conversations, aside from the conversations off air, I've never got you to be kind of just talk about current events and stuff going on in the world. You're kind of withdrawn or guarded as far as that goes. And is there anything happening in the world that you feel like you might want to speak upon?
I feel like if there are things that I want to talk about like that, I try to do it more in my music, or it's more of a spiritual thing that I like to kind of inspire people. So that's kind of my bigger thing. Just I feel like anything that's going on in the world, as far as that's negative, when people kind of constantly talk about things with politics and stuff like that, I kind of leave that to other people, and I kind of just want to I just really kind of want to inspire people to just find positivity, and that's kind of why I do music. So music, and also just when I'm in social media, that's kind of why I like to be in there, unlike some other artists that aren't as kind of present on social media. So that's just the kind of things that I like to be involved in.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, here's something, and you can. I'm already envisioning the standard Sharon, very vague answer, very kind of deflective of it. But let me ask you this, and I've never asked you this off air either, so this might be I'm running the risk of getting the hang up here, but. in the past, obviously, in performances for various previous albums, you've done performances, in support of like the whole Pride movement and that kind of stuff, right? See, there's that hum again.
That's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. Only with you.
That's funny.
So what I was getting at is, over the past like couple years since you came back to social media, you've been very open about your personal beliefs, as far as like religion and stuff goes. Do you find a conflict of interest within the whole religious lifestyle, and also being supportive of the Pride movement, because in past history, religion and the church don't really they're not accepting of the whole gay lifestyle and whatnot.
Well, I have an uncle who's a bishop, and I asked him one time. I said, Uncle, what are your thoughts on like gay people and like the morality of it and things like that? And he told me that in the religion he felt like that's what God is trying not for people to do. And I asked him, I said, what about when there's people and you see like a kid and you can just look at them and you can tell from a young age that they are already like that. And he was telling me something to the extent of, well, sometimes you can be something, but you can still pray to God to for some sort of guidance or something like that. And so when I spoke to my uncle about it, what I gathered from him is that, for me, it's more something that I feel like God would want. I couldn't be the judge of things like that, but, I guess as far as like encouraging other people just to find their truth and like if that makes their life better, things like that. I mean, that's kind of where I was going when I was talking to my uncle, just to try to find out my own truth about how I feel about things like that. And so, for example, like when I wrote my first album, I wrote like Rainbow, and that was like kind of a song that people that like when I would do Pride that they could relate to. So it's, I understand things like that, and I understand that it could feel like a conflict with religion or with God, but I wouldn't want to judge anybody, and I would just really hope that people in their own journeys can find their spiritual truth like I did. And because for whatever reason, finding God and just being closer to God has just made my life better. And, that's just something that hopefully everyone can do on their own, just like find their highest power.
So you're not kind of the mentality of a lot of like religious people, whereas if they see somebody who's, the gay lifestyle, they're not like, oh, they're broken, they need to be fixed. You're like, hey, that's just how they are.
Yeah, like I just never would want to judge anybody else, and like especially like I have a lot of gay fans and yeah, that I mean, and like I said, like when I wrote Rainbow myself, that's something that a lot of my gay fans can relate to. So yeah, that's I don't know what else to say, but that's kind of like where I felt along those lines regarding religion and that.
No, I love this because I think that's probably the deepest, most political comments I've ever gotten from you on the air. So I appreciate you not saying, no, I don't want to talk about that. Because it's just yeah, like I said, I mean, there's such a long history of the church, quote unquote, not being acceptive of that lifestyle. And to me, I mean, I've always thought of it along the lines of like that old Depeche Mode song, people are people, let them be.
Yeah.
If it makes you happy and you're not hurting anybody, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, but anyway, so that was cool. Great. I'm glad you didn't hang up. So before I let you go, Love Flows. What do we got to know about this?
What do we have to know about this? Well, Love Flows. Well, the funniest thing about this single is that it was one of the songs on the album that was a ballad. So I knew that, you know, we've come really hard with the dance stuff. And to release it as a single, like, I could have just released it as the album track alone, but, you know, we've been doing a lot of remixes, so we do stuff for the dance fans too. And, you know, I love the song. It's a special song to me because there's a funny story about the song really quick, which was that I wrote this song on the phone. And what I did was I was talking to Lenny at the time. At the time, we were just friends and producers, so I didn't think I liked him. I didn't notice if I liked him or not at that time. So I was just like, hey, like, let's write a song, you know? And he's like on the phone, and I go, yeah. And I said, pick a chord, you know? And so he's like, okay, E. And then I'm like, major or minor? And that's like, minor is like sad chords, sounds, and major is happy. And he's like, minor. So I said, okay. And then I said, what do you want the song to be about? And he goes, that maybe like we can overcome anything. And I didn't realize I was feeling romantic at the time. I was listening to this, I think it's like Jackson song or something, Breathe. And I was really kind of romantic. And so I go, no, I don't like that. And so he goes, what about like when we work in the studio, it's like magic happens. And so I was like, okay. And so I just started playing this melody, and then like within 4 minutes I pretty much came up with like the melody or the music for the song. And he goes, are you going to remember that? I said, I don't know. He goes, okay, let's hang up, do like a voice memo and record the song. And then so I have a voice memo of me making the song, and I like wrote it within like 10 minutes or something, kind of the chorus.
You should have put the memo somewhere in like one of the remixes, like, you know.
You know, I just listened to it like I think a night or two ago, and then Lenny said that. He goes, "Man, we should have put this on there." And I didn't have it was on my old phone, because you know how people always, you know, they get new phones every now and then, and
right.
I just didn't look at it. I was listening to the voice memos for some reason, and that's when I remembered it. But yeah, the voice memo is really cool. It's so raw and just. It's really deep and kind of like just me and the piano. My wonky piano, you know that piano?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
They're like, ah.
The great one that you did the orchestral maneuvers in the dark cover on.
Oh no, that was just that was like a keyboard with a piano sound. But this piano, it's like this really detuned piano. It's just like the most hilarious sounding piano I used to always play. But yeah, so that's kind of how the song came about. I didn't know I was falling in love, and I just like wrote it that day, and yeah.
Well, there you have it. VH1 Storytellers right here with Sharyn Maceren. Hey, real quick, I'm getting a lot of instant messaging here on Facebook. Jesurita wanted to say hi to you, and
tell her hey.
And you know, she's out there listening with her twin. So big shout out.
Oh, good. I love her.
She's a fan.
Yes.
She's a big fan. How can people catch up with you on social media?
On social media, you can find me on my website at www.sharon.net, and then that should link you to my Facebook and my Instagram, and which is facebook.com/ILikeSharon.
Mm-hmm.
And Instagram, you can just find my name.
Make sure you get in contact with her quick, because you never know, she may go on another media blackout very soon.
Media blackout. Did you see the difference when I was online and offline?
Did I what?
Can you tell the difference when I was online or offline?
Well, yeah, because you don't make any posts. You know, like, you know, I'll, you know, there was like, I was like looking on there, and it was like November, you know, whatever, 2017, yes, and like right. the last
2016.
Yeah, and the last post was from like a year and a half before that. I was like, well, she's on a blackout.
Right. That's right. It was almost exactly a year.
Yeah, yeah. But you're back now. You're doing your thing. So this is the new single, Love Flows. It's available on iTunes, Amazon, everywhere you get digital media. And there we go. This is like interview 15 or 16 with Miss Sharyn Maceren, a.k.a. Mrs. Ruckus.
Thank you, Kaz.
A.k.a. Miss Maruckus. All right, so let's jump into it. Hold on the line real quick. I'll talk to you for a second, and thanks again.